What's up, my Scorpio soul family? Welcome back to the channel. Of course, if you guys are new here, welcome in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can stay up to date with all of my monthly collective readings and other offerings and stuff too. Sometimes I do like astrology and numerology insights. Sometimes it'll be like guided meditations and things like that. But just make sure you turn on your notifications. You can get notified anytime I post something new. I'm so happy to have you guys here with us. Like I said, this is for my Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and even Venus. Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at the July 2026 forecast. And before I get into you guys' individual reading, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the energy of this month coming in because it definitely has this sort of like hero's journey kind of vibe to it, you know. We kick off in the number 7 month, July, in Cancer season, right? So, seven is like the spiritual seeker, it is the hermit in traditional tarot. And this is where we're going to be starting the month out very reflective, kind of, going within and looking at what we've been carrying, what have we outgrown, right, that we might be ready to release, what emotions and things like that might be coming up for you guys right now to kind of reflect on and process and release. This is about gleaning wisdom from your personal experiences, right? That's what the hermit does, and that is part of the hero's journey. But when we get into the latter half of July, we start to um, get into more of the universal energy of July, which is actually a number 8 because we're in a universal 1 year. So that 7 plus 1 is 8. And that 8 is the strength card, very much a Leo kind of energy. And so when we are getting into Leo season at the latter half of this month, that's where we start to, take a look at everything that we have learned, everything that we have processed, um, you know, and we're invited to look at how we can embody it more. How can it become wisdom that we share in service of others? How can it become part of our story and part of our medicine, right? So we're going to have the strength and the courage to be able to fully embody that wisdom and really show up in that way. So this is going to be a really powerful month for us to, look at all the things that we have gone through over the past cycle and, um, decide what we want to do with this now, right? What do we do with this now that we have kind of, learned some of these lessons and accomplished some of our goals or completed cycles? What do we do with that now? Okay. Scorpio, for you guys, with your reading, it definitely feels like there is a new beginning or a new chapter of some kind that is trying to take shape. But it might be kind of asking you to release some fear, like some old fear and things around that thing so that you can fully trust yourself. Okay. Um, so as we go through your reading, I want to invite you to kind of sit with that, you know, what would change in your life if you actually trusted yourself, if you actually said yes and gave it your all and didn't care what anyone else thought, didn't listen to that little voice of the inner critic, and you just went with it. You just said yes. If you trusted and believed in yourself, what would your life look like? What would change? Okay. Now, getting into your personal reading this month, your overall emotional climate or color frequency is Auburn, number 11, saying ground yourself. Okay. So, very earthy kind of energy. Um, it speaks of grounding and, rooting into your body, into the physical world, really kind of coming back home to yourself, which is very Cancer energy, right? coming back home to yourself, really kind of getting yourself steady and standing on a solid foundation so that you can hear your own voice, your own guidance, your own courage and bravery, kind of like overriding that voice of the inner critic by grounding into your truth. Okay. And with that number 11, like I said, it is kind of like a new beginning type of energy. Um, but this is also the number of intuition, right? You connect with your intuition when you are grounded. This might be a very intuitive month for you guys where you've got a lot of things coming to you through dreams and synchronicities like, maybe angel numbers or little spirit signs, animals, things like that showing up. Or it could just be like, those epiphany type of energies, like claircognizance where you just know something or some type of feeling that you get whatever. But it could be that way for you guys this month, something that you keep being shown intuitively that keeps coming back over and over again, no matter what. You know what I mean? Something is trying to get you guys' attention. And I feel like that's with this ground yourself. I feel like that's important, because you probably are feeling that calling to something new. And it could be very exciting, it could be stimulating, it could really kind of stir up some things which might stir up your anxiety too, um and when that happens, it could be really hard to trust your intuition or even discern your intuition from that anxiety, from fear kind of talking. So July, your frequency here is really asking you to slow down enough to hear that truth, and to not like talk yourself out of the things that you actually want, um, because of fear, right? So this is about moving forward in a grounded, steady way and also grounding in that new beginning into your reality. Okay. Now, the way this is showing up for you guys, the first area comes in as this number 55 adventure with this aqua blue and green. So definitely like heart chakra, throat chakra kind of energy. Um, this is a call to adventure, a call to explore something. You might be feeling that call in your spirit, like, I want something new, I want something more, I want to feel more alive. Kind of um, a calling to have your outer world match your inner world. You know what I mean? Like, where it's you pursuing something that is more connected to like the version of you that you are becoming. Um, so I will say with this being adventure for some of you, obviously this could be like literal travel, or getting out of your usual routine or something. But I think for many of you, this is, um, maybe about taking a risk, a different path, um, a call to, pursue some type of, opportunity, or maybe there's an idea, something like that. It might even be like just a whole new way of living, and this path is probably going to feel very unfamiliar to you, but you also feel it calling you and you see all the signs and synchronicities pointing you in that direction. And it feels like it's a big shift, a big calling, because this is number 55. So that is powerful change. It's movement, it's a big, major shift kind of energy. Um, and like I was saying, that call to adventure, although it moves you and it moves your soul, it can also kind of stir up that fear, anxiety and things like that, where, um, the part of you that kind of likes to be in control of things and know what's going to happen next, um, might, that voice, that ego, the ego always wants us to stay small and comfortable, stay in the comfort zone, right? Where growth calls us to expand. And that stretch, that pull can be really uncomfortable, you might kind of start looking for all the reasons to talk yourself out of it when that fear starts talking, oh, it can't work because of this, or I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, whatever it is, that could really kind of be showing up for some of you this month. But, you know, um, I think that this is really just a call to um, really face that fear, head on. Fear, I like to use that, God, I can't think of the words. Mercury retrograde. Thank you. Fear, you could look at it one of two ways. You can either, you know, say fuck everything and run, or you can face everything and rise. And I feel like that is part of this calling for you, is to um override that little fear of that internal voice, and really trust yourselves and trust your spirit, trust your intuition and where you're being led, even if it is uncomfortable and not familiar, um because this is a call to expansion. All right. um and then we have nature, number 74, in this green and purple kind of color. So green, that, well, nature, obviously, that your frequency is auburn, so that kind of shows up there. But green is definitely connected to healing and the heart. Um, the part of you that is ready to grow with nature, you know. And purple does bring in that intuition, like I said, your higher self, spirit, the bigger perspective. And 74 reduces down to 11. So that's the second 11 in your reading already. Okay. So definitely your intuition is trying very hard to get your attention this month. So, pay attention. For some of you, nature might be literal, especially when you get the call to ground yourself. you know it could be that you need to get outside more. Maybe it's so hot right now. I don't know, maybe spend some time near water or something, work in your yard or your garden, or just sit in nature somewhere, take a walk in nature somewhere, and kind of get away from all the noise right now. Grounding into yourself and into the present moment is going to help you kind of get clear and hear your intuition clearly. And I think that that is kind of the bigger picture around this card, is that, you guys need an environment this month to really be able to hear yourself clearly. There might be a lot of mental kind of clutter around you right now, or a lot of chaos, a lot of moving parts. um you know and things are all kind of pulling at your attention right now. And so I feel that clarity is going to come when you can step away into a quiet place of solitude, like nature, just to kind of get away for a little while, so you can hear things clearly. Okay. And then we have music, number 32, in that orange and gold color. So orange brings this back to your sacral chakra, like your emotional body, and your creativity and pleasure, desire. Um, Ironically, though, that is also the place where your fear is stored, right? So they, kind of go hand in hand. Now, gold is where we get into the solar plexus energy, and so that's your courage and your confidence. This ties into your self-worth, your personal power, and also trusting yourself. And, this is very much kind of like a Leo energy. Um, trusting that there is something valuable about what you create and share with the world. Okay. Um, Now, music might be the way that you do this, quite literally for some of you, because here's the thing, right? Like I mentioned about the sacral, how your fear is also stored there, ironically. Well, so is your creativity, and creativity is trauma's kryptonite. So, like, um, creative expression, okay, the number three, creative expression, it allows you to channel your emotions, your healing process, your thoughts, all of that into some type of creative expression. So, like I said, for some of you, this might actually be music. You know, maybe you play music or write music, or maybe you just need to put on some music and like sing and dance and act a fool and, you know, let yourself have some fun and you know, let yourself, actually just enjoy something without it being um another task or responsibility, you know. um Now I will say though too, I do feel like this card um is more so about finding a balanced rhythm. You know, because number two is about balance and harmony. And, you know, when you look at it together, 32 becomes a five. So you got that, you know, five again with like the adventure card with 55. So big changes, you know, big changes. And you've got two more fives. Look, right here and right here. You got two more fives down here too. So like, this is not a stagnant month for you guys, Scorpio. Like not even at all. This is big shift energy. Um, you know, and so I think the music card um is about how these changes are actually meant to bring you back into balance and alignment and I don't know, just back to life for some of you. You know what I mean? Okay, now let's look at the deeper story beneath this, okay? Underneath this energy, the deeper story here, you've got a consciousness of lack, and like I said, that was a number five. You've got great achievement, loving man, which is the other number five, and decrease. Okay. Um, Now this is where things start to kind of click and make sense a little bit more. So you know, we the first card that shows up here is this number five consciousness card, and that's where the consciousness of lack. Okay. But it's coming through here as that number five. So, you know, there might be fear around change because part of you is so worried about what would happen if you took that risk or you made the wrong decision. Um, you know, you might feel like it's going to leave you with something that you know, without something that you need. If you look really closely, there's money in there, but this is also a hollow space, you know, so something lacking. It's almost like you guys fear that if you make the wrong decision, you're going to lose out, you're going to miss out, you're going to lack something that is needed. Maybe that's money or support or you know, people or you know, whatever it is that has kind of kept, you know, made you guys feel safe and served its purpose for a while. Um, you know, I feel like you can kind of be stressed out or fearing what would happen without certain things that allowed you that comfort, you know. Um, but the thing about this is that I think that that is an illusion. I don't think that you are really lacking anything that you need. I think that that is just the old lens of perception, the old level of consciousness that you were operating at that was kind of shaping the way that you were seeing options for your own life, you know? So you might be kind of looking at this new opportunity and then automatically being like, well, you know, what if all the wrong, you know, what if it doesn't work? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't have enough or I don't make enough or whatever, you know? Um, so don't talk yourself out of it right away. Okay. And then we have this number one event card, great achievement. Okay. Um, And that is what I was saying. Like something new is trying to begin. Something is, something real, something like an opportunity or I don't know, a project of some kind or um some type of personal accomplishment, right? Like a breakthrough type of energy. Or like I said, it could just be a new chapter, but um I feel like this month you guys will start to see evidence of it finally. You know what I mean? Like, and realize like you are definitely capable of more than you have been giving yourself credit for. And life is full of infinite possibilities and potential, maybe more so than you ever realized for yourself or thought was possible for you. You know what I mean? So it's not just an idea, it is an actual new chapter that is trying to begin and something that is actually trying to manifest and take shape in your life. You know what I mean? And for some of you, this could very well be a relationship, I say, because you got this people card, loving man, another number five. So, this could be a romantic connection, like literally for some of you. Or a male figure of some kind who comes into your life and offers love, or loving, supportive type of energy, Um, and that doesn't necessarily have to be romantic either. For some of you, that could be a friend, a brother, a mentor, um, just someone who kind of helps you see yourself in a different light. Someone, the light there. Someone who wants you to shine, who wants to bring love and beauty into your world, or someone that helps you see your own light, your own beauty, Um, this person, whomever this is, feels like they are part of the solution, not like another obstacle on the path. For some of you, I say that because like the path there, it feels like this person is placed on your path by spirit because they are meant to bring beauty and love into your world in some type of way, right? So maybe they encourage you, or maybe they, I don't know, bring in some type of emotional support or something, especially when it comes to helping you decide how you want to move forward. They might just, I don't know, just kind of show you love without it coming with expectations or a price tag of some kind, without attachments and strings. And for some of you too, Scorpios, this could be, if my male Scorpios, this could be your own energy emerging or wanting to emerge here too, because like I said, another number five, that's big change energy. So, and then we have the number four cycle card, decrease. Okay. Um, and I know looking at it with this great achievement, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. That sounds, like it kind of is conflicting, but I don't see this as like I don't see this as like a loss card, right? There's a card in here called loss, and that's a little different than the decrease card. I think this is more so about the things that need to be simplified before you can walk fully into this next chapter. So it could be, well, especially with the emotions here, and like I was saying about what comes through with this Cancer energy in the beginning, it could be for some of you like um the amount of time and energy you once gave to like a certain story or version of yourself or your life and identity. um for some of you it could be about just how much of yourself you give to others and without getting anything back, a lack of reciprocation. You might be cutting down on um, where you give your time or your energy. Maybe it's expenses for some of you, addictions or something for some of you, like habits, I mean, habits that just don't serve you anymore. Whatever it is, I feel like the things that are being decreased are about cutting back on the things that kind of keep you stuck in that old loop of lack. Okay. And again, you got the a number four here with this one. So, um, four is about your foundation, so this decrease is about clearing space so that you can build from a more, solid foundation. Um, you guys can't keep doing things the same old way that you've been building, the place that you have been building from, because you have to have room for the new stuff that wants to come in, and there is something manifesting. Like I said, there is a new beginning that is trying to take shape. So like I was saying, I think there might be some type of decision for you guys this month, and you know you need to kind of not let your old fears and your old way of viewing what is possible for your life deter you from making that decision to pursue the thing that is coming up for you over and over and over again. It's coming up for you for a reason, you know? So come back into your body. Make sure spend some time in nature so that you can get really grounded. Um, you know, let yourself move and create and listen to music, whatever it is that helps you get out of your head long enough so that you can ground in and really get that deeper truth that is being revealed to you. You know what I mean? And, you know, choose something this month to kind of cut back on, something that drains you or costs like way too much time or energy, or like I said, maybe it's even a habit that kind of keeps you stuck to this old version of you that you're trying to outgrow. Okay. Just one clear choice, just one thing. Even that one choice, like every choice that we make helps to put us on a different timeline, right? It's kind of like those, speaking of adventure, old adventure books of the 90s where you get to the bottom of the page, right? And the character has to make a decision. Do you want to choose this? Well, go to this page. If you choose this, go to this other page, right? So it's kind of kind of like that. Every choice that you make to align more with your higher timeline or the highest version of yourself, that alters your reality and it shapes your life and it puts you on that path to the higher timeline. Okay. So that can help shift a lot of things in your world. Okay. All right, Scorpio, let's take a look at your spiritual support coming in this month, because first and foremost comes Kuthumi with the Cloak of Wisdom. Okay. And he is saying that you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. So, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's about like you're already seeing the signs and synchronicities. So, this is about trusting your intuition. Okay. You don't have to have like full on, certainty and confirmation before you take that, move, how you want to move, you know. Um, This is about really trusting your intuition. Okay. And then you also have Isis with magic manifesting. And she says that through your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. So stay focused. Okay. That aligns perfectly with this great achievement kind of card, So, like I said, there could be something that, has been calling, you or you calling in for a while, and that needs your attention right now. But it needs your undivided attention. It needs your confidence and strength and not anxiety, right? It needs you to trust yourself and, stay focused, right? Because it's that old saying about how, energy flows where your attention goes. So what are you paying attention to? Because that's how you manifest the reality. So keep showing up for what matters for you and keep your focus on that. Keep taking like that next aligned actionable step, um this is a fire horse year, so that aligned action and practical steps that's guiding you, and let yourself believe in what is possible. Okay, it might be better than what you thought, um and then we also have Sarabi Bay Ascension. Okay. And he says, move into your true self, rise above the darkness. The light is here. And honestly, this feels like kind of the heart around the whole thing, you guys seem to be kind of like leaving behind a version of you that was built from survival mode and lived in a place of lack or fear, um kind of maybe lacking confidence, or just maybe not even believing that the life that you truly desire for yourself is possible, this is where um you see who you are, and you know your power, and you know what you deserve, and you're being asked to rise into that version of yourself that knows with confidence that not only are you capable, but it's all available to you and you are worthy of it. Okay. Now let's get your final guidance from Spirit, and I'll just read this postcard directly. It says, Dearest you, we are gathering our magic together to help you celebrate your new beginning. You're stepping into a new version of your life, getting to tell a new story as you create it. Doesn't it feel like spring when the urge to expand wells up from inside of you in that primal place? The form of what you are growing has yet to take shape, and it's exciting to experience this new and fresh beginning. It's normal to feel both push and push back when you're entering into any kind of new relationship. So it's okay to admit you don't really know what to expect. What you can know is it's time to dive in and allow that new version of life to take shape through you on your behalf of partner in life, Spirit. You have made it to a new level of awakening and contributing, and we are so excited to see where this will take you next. We are so proud of you. And I love this for you guys, Scorpio, because this really ties it all in. And even if this the new, like I said, the new chapter, the new beginning, the new you, even if it's not fully there yet, and like I said, I know the excitement, the discomfort, all of that is part of it. But let it grow. Let it grow. Let yourself grow. Let yourself answer the call of adventure and get grounded in so that you could really hear it, really hear your higher self coming in and communicating and showing you the path, showing you the way to exactly what it is that you desire. Okay. So stop letting the fear talk you out of it, because this life is meant for you. It's been trying to find you for a long time. So ground it in and make room for it in your life. Okay? It's ready. Don't stay where you've already outgrown. You're not there anymore. All right, Scorpio Soul family, thank you again for being here with me, for listening. I hope this reading resonates. Let me know what landed for you in the comments. I would love to hear. And of course, if you want to book a personal reading with me to see how this directs you impacts you directly. See what I mean? I can't talk today. I will go ahead and drop my booking information in the video description. And if you're not following me on social media already, be sure to pop over to my Facebook and follow me there, because every Tuesday I offer a collective Tarot Tuesday free card pull. So I pull a free card for anyone who comments, And I also offer a little special, that day only offerings. Like I do mini readings for on a donation basis that day. And I also offer recorded personal readings at a discounted rate. So make sure you pop on over to my Facebook and follow me there too. All right, Scorpio, much love, many blessings, and I can't wait to see where this month leads you. Take care, guys.